We are at Alumni Stadium for the OUA Men's Soccer Championship Final between the Guelph Griffins and the York Lions. A 90-minute contest that may even go beyond that should be thrilling, edge-of-your-seat action from start to finish. Welcome up into the broadcast booth, Clark Broughton, Shane Campbell, head coach of the Griffins women's varsity team, up here. Glad to have you tagging along with us, whether it's through OUA TV or CBC Gem. We are happy to have you for this Griff Vision broadcast. Shane, I know you've been getting excited all week for this contest, what it means for Guelph, what it means for what we get to watch and enjoy, and now it's finally here.
Yeah, it's been an exciting preparation for the week, and both coaches have been working really hard to get their squads ready for the fixture today. I think we're in for an excellent game of football today from two top teams in Ontario.
Griffins head coach Keith Mason for the men's program has been around a while, but as we alluded to, this is a first in quite a while for this team here hosting this OUA championship. It comes on the heels of a thrilling 1-0 victory over Carleton last weekend at the Griffins Soccer Complex, in which saw Griffins goaltender Svitek Artemko stop a 94th minute penalty kick. I would think as a coach that should serve as a lot of momentum coming into an OUA final.
Oh, absolutely. The emotion of that game and the support of the home crowd was excellent, and I know that Coach Mason is looking forward to having that kind of support today as his team looks to win the OUA championship.
On the other side, these York Lions come in after defeating Ryerson 3-2 in extra time, a game that saw them get a red card in the 20th minute, and they essentially played 90 minutes with 10 men. We're up 2-0 at the half. Ryerson comes back, ties it at 2 before the Lions prevail with a 119th minute goal. So both semifinals with all kinds of excitement at the end, perhaps just a bit of foreshadowing for what we get here tonight. We are just about ready to roll with the Griffins in their black tops, red shorts, red socks. York in their all-white kits as we are off. Zeese quickly sending the ball down deep. Evan Dick towards the goal line keeps it alive as we get rolling here on a chilly afternoon at Alumni Stadium. About 2 to 3 degrees, a stiff breeze blowing from left to right on your screen as you see it towards the York goal here for this opening half. But so far no rain, hopefully not to jinx it. As long as, I know you mentioned, Shane, if the rain can stay away, the cold, so be it. It'll allow these guys to really showcase the talent. Yeah,
they won't notice the cold on the field at all. They'll be ready to play, and so I think, if the rain stays away, we'll have just a great game of football today. A real great showcase and a piece for the sport here, for sure.
Now this year, a little different than years past. Normally, these two teams would already both be off to nationals. However, Carleton as the host and just 2 OUA spots open. Carleton's already there despite their semifinal loss to Guelph. So all of a sudden, not only are you playing for an OUA title right now, but the spot at National is no longer secured either.
That's right, and I think that's what will make, the start of the game will be very interesting today as both teams try and feel out the ways in which they can execute, their strategy that each has today.
We've seen so far through the season, a COVID season though, where schedules have been adjusted, divisions have been adjusted. You're not playing as many different schools as you're accustomed to in a normal year. But despite that, this Griffins team defensively has been outstanding, allowing just 4 goals if you include their playoff games. Meanwhile, York, their offense, nearly 40 goals in the season. So whether we see a York offense versus a Griffin defense to be further seen, but at the same time, the numbers certainly line up for a massive clash between these two.
Yeah, and even though they will not have seen each other in the regular season, both head coaches are very familiar with each other. The players themselves on the pitch will be very familiar, as so many of these players compete in the League One Ontario as well. So there's a lot of familiarity. Everyone will know pretty much everything about each other today. So executing everyone's individual roles will be key today.
Both teams just kind of feeling out here as we get through the first 2.5 minutes, give or take, on the clock. The Griffins intercept, try to move forward, but nothing happening as the ball sits loosely just inside of midfield. The Lions trying to get an attack going, but send it out of bounds. It'll be a Griffins throw.
It'll be really interesting, Clark, to see how each team starts to establish their identity on the pitch today. So I'm really looking forward to to seeing how the flow of this goes.
Looking like, yes, Evan Dick out for the throw here for the Griffins. In a matchup that in recent years between these two, obviously, if you're familiar with OUA soccer, university soccer across this country, you know how dominant this York Lions squad has been. But lately, without a season last year, you go back to 19, these two teams played twice, both ending in draws as the Lions try to send in a crosser, calmly headed away, and the Griffins will clear away any damage. But a couple of draws, a couple of one-goal York wins before that, before you go all the way back to 2016 when these two teams played in an OUA final, the last championship that Guelph won with a 3-1 victory, where Alex Zeese, 2 goals in that game, including the winner, now getting finally a chance to return to that setting here today.
Yeah, well, you have 2 players that are from that 2016 roster in Mitch Lefebvre and Alex Zeese. So they'll remember that day. And I remember being there, and the York Lions got out to an early lead, but Guelph just seemed to galvanize after that and really took the game in 16 and ended up with that 3-1 win.
It was Zeese right before halftime getting the go-ahead goal to make it 2-1 before getting a little security, if you will, in the second half to make it 3-1 as the Griffins secured their second OUA title. The first one we kind of alluded to. We'll get further into that as the day goes along, as the Griffins making a bit of a charge in towards the box. A shot and a tremendous stop. But and prevents and puts out perhaps the best opportunity here just about 5 minutes into this match.
Yeah, that was a really good look on goal, and you don't want to give Mitch too many of those opportunities in front of goal today.
From just inside that 18-yard box, he let that one go, but Zemas fully extended to the left, gets his hands on it, and now gets his feet on the ball, slowing things down before launching it up near midfield. Trying to counter. The Lions putting a ball through, just prevented at the last moment. Now Evan Dick on it for the Griffins, out to Sears along the left side, sending it down, looking for Zeese inside the box. Zeese gets it on his right foot, holds up, then walks away out of bounds. With a good ball movement, getting the Griffins deep into the York Lions end.
Yeah, and that's good individual defending. Anytime you have to go against Alex Zeese in the box, it's really dangerous. So it's really good individual defending by the York Lions, number 24.
A bit of a frustrating season, if you will, for injuries for Alex Zeese, who has shown his talent time and time again when he's on the pitch, but this just his 5th game now and 4th start so far in the 2021 campaign, which, assuming fully healthy though, if nothing else, should mean he's a fairly fresh guy out there.
Yeah, and he'll be hungry. Alex is one of the most professional young men you'll meet in the game, and so just excellent. His attitude, his disposition is fantastic. So I fully expect if he's on the pitch today, that means he's ready to go.
Henson launching it forward. Griffins giving chase. Mitch not quite going to get there in time, and it'll roll out of bounds. Lions possession as they try to get going back the other way. Thus far, not a lot for York pushing forward towards the Guelph zone. We've alluded to the Lefebvre shot a few moments ago being the first real good chance here of the contest, but at this point the Lions still kind of getting their feet under them here after making the trip down to Guelph.
Yeah, I think so, and they haven't been able to find Yuma yet, Yuma, the kinesiology and health science major, is a joint leading scorer in the OUA, and once they start to find him, I think they'll find their rhythm in the game.
He's had no shortage of spectacular moments before coming to York, spending some time overseas, the Czech Republic and Portugal as well. For Yuma, along with Omar Marzouk, who has been very good this year for the Lions, he has set up multiple glorious chances and goals all throughout this season for the team wearing white here on a Saturday afternoon. The Griffins trying to get back on the attack. It's Zeese chasing this down to the corner, keeps it alive, into the middle of the box. Unable to get a boot on it was Lefebvre. Played away in time, and the Lions quickly trying to transition as they get ahead with Yuma. Sending it down the middle, intercepted, headed away, and the Griffins trying to calm things down as some tense moments in the York end, quickly coming back the other way. Anytime you see the ball get on number 9's foot, if you're Guelph, you start to get a little nervous as he tried to send it forward, couldn't quite connect with Marzouk, but the Lions now able to get a bit of possession going as they work it around down towards the goal line. That's going to be held out and just rolls. It'll be a York corner, our first corner here of the game. And anytime you get into a match like this, set piece is always oh so crucial.
Yeah, they are a critical piece of the game, and Carmesacco and his staff will have really prepared his team well to take advantage of these, especially with some of the players that they have there in the box right now.
First one of the contest, a low liner sent in, finds the boot of Jerusic, and quickly blocked away and played up and out of bounds. But a good attempt all the same for the Lions off of that first corner.
Yeah, you can see, that connection is really, really dangerous in the box.
Very hard struck ball by Jerusic, but off a Griffin body in front before being cleared as the Griffins get set for a throw-in from just inside the York half out on that far sideline in front of the two teams' benches. Into the middle, Zeese on his right foot, kicks it now, heading over to his left, trying to find a bit of space, plays it off to the side before getting a return feed. On the football field here today, pretty easy to keep track of how far away these players are from the net and where they are using those yard markers as this ball gets sent in towards the Lions netminder, but Zimas calmly settles that down and gets the Lions going the other direction.
Yeah, you can see York today. They're just being patient in their build-up. They're trying to establish width on the field and then looking for Yuma to hold that ball up and be able to progress up the pitch today. It's an interesting day because both teams are playing slightly different formations today with Keith, Coach Mason in a back three, and it looks like Carmen Asako has his back four in line. So it's just an interesting look at the intentions of the teams today.
So now as this goes along, you're in a championship setting. Obviously that first goal, oh so critical. But as a coach, is there a thought as to when you really start pushing for that? Or do you kind of get a feel for it, get yourself into the game? Just kind of your thoughts is what you'd sort of plan out here.
Yeah, I think you always look at the first 15 minutes of the match. And I think with the quality on the field today, I think both teams, and I think we've seen this already, is they're just really feeling out each other. Where are the spaces that they can get to on the pitch? How can each team establish their intentions on the pitch today? And I think you're seeing this real feeling out period. Then after that, then things start to change. So a moment can do that.
As the Griffins intercept and try to get running the other direction, Zeese being pushed out towards the sideline, now being double teamed, ball stolen away. And the Lions back the other direction, playing it into the middle, quickly headed. And the Griffins extinguish any pressure for the moment and now launch it down towards midfield. Bouncing around, Marzouk goes up hard for it, comes to the sideline. That's going to be off of a white jersey and out of play for a Griffins throw.
Clark, you mentioned Omar Marzouk earlier, and he's a great story here for the York Lions. He scored a real critical goal, a great find from the staff. Coming out of high school, and in 2019 came on the pitch and scored a critical goal in the OUA semifinal in 2019. So looking forward to seeing what he can do today.
One of the more experienced guys as far as in a York jersey for this Lions squad, a two-time OUA champion is Marzouk, as well as a first-team OU West All-Star going back to 2018. Certainly no shortage of talent in the guy wearing 11 here for the visitors as the Lions try to get going. Now the ball is on his foot. Working it inside, intercepted before it gets to Yuma. And the Griffins quickly transitioning, ball ahead. Coming out is the keeper, Zemos, who will play it away. The Griffins trying to chase it down, but Zemos getting a feel for that one early, realizing he could run out and get there first.
Well, that's, Owen McKee, he just is a tireless work rate up front, and any of those balls in the channel today, he'll always be running those down. So let's look for him and look at him. He scored a critical goal, obviously, in the game against Carleton. And I know Coach Mason has said just how much he has given to the team in this latter half of the season.
You've definitely seen, as you allude to, Coach Mason, he's given him more and more time as this season's progressed, more and more starts here towards the end. And as you talked about, had that lone goal in the Carleton win. He was set up to be the hero, and then all of a sudden Artemko at the very end in the 94th minute, stopping a penalty shot, kind of stole a bit of the shine, if you will, but I know McKee would be more than happy to sacrifice that if it means his goalie makes that save.
Yeah, I think that's a key part of Coach Mason's team this year. I think sacrifice. I think the entire collective of the team, is doing the work at both ends of the pitch, and it's significant.
The Lions working their way down the field now on the far right side. Back up it goes. Knocked around. Looking to gain entry towards that box. Sliding tackle made. A good defensive play prevents Olatoye from working his way into that 18-yard box and getting the Griffins now the other direction. Ahead. Offside flag goes up. As on the far side, I believe that was Lefebvre, who was just a hair ahead of the line and ultimately gets caught.
Well, you can see Colin Gander there, his individual defending exceptional. And then once he wins the ball, his ability to play that outless pass to Zeese and get Guelph on the counter.
Just about to eclipse the 15-minute mark here in this OUA championship. Not only the OUA gold on the line as well, that spot at Nationals. The Carleton Ravens will be there as the host team. One of these two teams will be the other OUA representative. And we're about 75 minutes, unless we have extra time away from finding out who that team will be. As the Griffins start to calm things down a little bit, work the ball in their own end, get a few touches in.
And it looks like the Lions today are dropping into a 4-5-1 when they're defending in a bit of a mid-block, it looks like today. And, in the past, Karmasako's teams usually press a bit higher. So just interesting to see how that progresses and when they start to, push numbers up the pitch a bit more.
We've alluded with this Griffins team, just everything as far as getting here and this first hosting in 31 years for an OUA final. And how tremendous of a season it's been as the ball comes to the foot of Zeese. Using the left foot, trying to play it in. That's blocked, works the ball back now as he breaks into the box. Going down towards the goal line, just cleared away. It'll be a throw, saving that corner kick. The Griffins will be able to work the ball back in, though, as they take it out of bounds.
The Griffins will want to get him as much as they can on the ball in those situations because Alex Zeese is so incredibly creative and can find those balls in behind the line and his opportunity to find a strike on goal.
And just now to kind of finish up a thought that I was rolling with before Zeese nearly had something going. We've talked about Guelph so much, and I don't even know if there's much that needs to be said for this York team. The name kind of just speaks for itself, but you mentioning Carm, of course, the head coach for this crew. They've got their 6 OUA titles under his direction since 07, not to mention the national championships as well. I think as a university coach yourself, what does it mean to you when you look up at something like that and just everything he's been able to build and everything he's been able to create with this program?
Well, I think Karmanosako for years has led all of us in the OUA in terms of the efforts, the work that he's put in. I think he's established the standard and then some. And he's one of a small number of people, I think, in the soccer world that you can really point to say, he's built this and he's built that. So for a long time, all of us have looked up to the programs he's built to really, be a marker for us.
Gander's ball across the field, intercepted. Now Marzouk trying to go ahead. He beat Marchant, but able to get back as Marzouk lost it for a moment. The Griffins clear as the sun peeks out from behind the clouds, creating a beautiful scene down on the pitch now. Weather's been a little dicey, not totally sure what it's going to do as this goes on. Long ball from Marzouk, come out and punched away. Svaslav Artemko comes out, knocks that out quickly, thrown back in by York. That's going to go off of Evan Dick and out for another York throw.
You can see how important he is. Svetic, it's just an incredibly important piece of the Guelph Griffins team.
And talking about the momentum and everything built from that 94th minute penalty save to keep that 1-0 lead over Carleton, essentially end the game. The whistle came just moments after the ensuing corner from the save. But for a first-year goalie, replacing Eric Hermans, this ball worked into the box. Nothing doing, no one in white able to find it. Yuma looking for a call, thought he was fouled, as the Griffins able to play it ahead and alleviate the pressures. The Lions get probably their closest opportunity here thus far through our first nearly 20 minutes of play.
Well, you can see when Yuma gets on the ball, lots of things start to be created for York. So Guelph's going to have to be really mindful of where he is on the pitch at all times.
He's not happy at all, still with his arms out, asking the official for an explanation. Now the ball back on his feet, but quickly knocked away as the Griffins come up and double him. Now loose ball's going to come to the right foot of Zeese. Working to his right side. He's got Dick on the right. Still working with it. Sliding challenge. And they're calling the foul, or they're calling it out of bounds off of White.
I think there's going to be a free kick here.
They give the free kick. York not happy with that either, further adding to Yuma's displeasure from down in the other end. Zeese will take this free kick from, as the ball sits, about 31 yards north-south from the goal. I imagine he's sending this into the box looking for a head.
Yeah, he's so devastating. He can put that ball anywhere he wants in the box. He's that effective.
Quickly ahead, the Lions trying to get going the other way. Olatoye trying to chase it down a little too strong. Guelph will get possession back here with a throw as they move it back to their own end. Harvey Marchant's going to be on it first as they pass it across. Harvey, a native of head coach Keith Mason's home country of England, coming over for his first year. Community Service Award winner for the OUA West here in 2021 as well, as Gander now ahead trying to find Lefebvre. Ball bouncing up now near the goal line. Lions keep it alive and prevent the corner again. A Guelph throw as that ball rolls into the York sideline.
Yeah, Harvey Marchant's just been a fantastic addition to not only the Guelph Griffins men's soccer team, but our Guelph community in general. Just the work that he's been doing with our youth has been exceptional, and just a real standout person.
Certainly deserving of that award. Now Zeese's ball in for Gander, trying to slow it with the left foot. Couldn't quite knock it down. And we'll get the goal kick. But you see Alex Zeese, just the ability out of nowhere can suddenly create something with a beautiful pass. That one nearly finding number 3 for Guelph on the other end.
Well, you can see what they're trying to do with Gander is get him to establish width for Guelph and get him further up the pitch and in behind the back line of York.
They fight for the ball up near midfield. Zeese is going to have it come to him. Ahead he goes, trying to find McKee into the box. He's got a look off a deflection, and it's in! McKee's got the first goal of this OUA championship in the 22nd minute. Off a York body, it goes past Zimas, and the Guelph Griffins are out in front, 1-0.
Well, there you can see that just tireless work rate. He's running the channel, and good things happen when you take your strike on goal. And you can see he's actually trying to square that ball across the box to find Mitch Lefebvre. But fortune follows his way, and of course that comes from consistent level of effort that Owen McKee puts in to his game.
And now I believe that's Carmen Isako on the sideline, not happy, just gets a yellow card following the goal. Perhaps a couple of those earlier calls that did not go the Lions' way. Talking to him before the match, the key theme for him was simply just moments, and it's going to come down to a couple of moments and taking advantage of said moments. But we just had the first moment of the game, and unfortunately for his side, the ball deflecting off of Milo Jerusic into the back of his own goal, I'm sure was not the moment he was hoping for.
No, he's just trying to block the ball going across the box. And but when you put pressure on, these things happen. When the pressure comes on, these big championship games come down to moments, and sometimes those things that happen. So you've got to get the ball in the box. The game, we often say in football, the game is won and lost in the box, and certainly that's an example right there.
Now free kick coming for York from that 30-yard mark after Lucas Doros getting called for the foul. Doros, the 2021 OUA West Player of the Year, taking care of his own end, but also showing the touch on the offensive side, doing whatever needed for this Guelph team as the header off the free kick goes off the side of the goal. Artemko lets it fly by, and he'll have himself a goal kick to follow up. Fought for just inside midfield. The Lions head it back towards the Guelph end. Now Evan Dick goes up for this one. That's head out of play. It's going to be a Griffins ball as they get set for a throw-in with a 1-0 lead. Obviously, tons of game here to go. But again, I'm going to draw on your coaching experience. You jump out in front 1-0. It's so easy to start kind of laying back and just trying to keep that one goal lead the rest of the way. I imagine that strategy against the Lions squad like this might not last for the 65 minutes that we still have to play, though.
Yeah, it'll be key that they, as you see, a great piece of Alex Zese's skill here. It'll be critical that Guelph does not drop deep and allow York to come into the half as much, and they continue to attack and continue to try and press on the ball.
Quickly sent down the far sideline. The Lions are ahead. Olatoye trying to work in towards the middle of the field. Marzouk fires. That's off at Griffin. Comes harmlessly out. Now a long shot launched well over top of the Griffin goal. 3 points if we're playing football. She split the uprights. But in soccer here, it's going to be just nothing more than a goal kick.
That's right. But you can see, how quickly York transitioned to attack there. Guelph's going to have to be really mindful. These next moments, as you mentioned, these moments after a goal scored in the next 5 minutes are going to be critical for each team to make sure that they maintain the work that they're doing.
So you get that goal right around that 20th minute mark. You got, we'll say for the sake of discussion, 25 minutes from that goal to get yourself to halftime. How much are you breaking the game down into little increments in a situation like this? Is that a key focus, or is it more so just keep going with it, and as the time runs, it'll run?
Yeah, I think you right away you try and really maintain as much of your focus as you can right away after that goal happens, and then from there you get back into your rhythm and back into the objectives that you had set for yourself.
Ball out of play off of Guelph as the Lions work it back in play. Trying to find an equalizer here. They now trail 1-0 to the Griffins, much to the pleasure of a very good Griffin crowd here at Alumni Stadium today. Certainly some Lions fans making the trip down as well. But last I heard, there were about 1,000 tickets or so sold. So very good numbers here within the COVID regulations that allow. But all the same, we've got a noisy crowd and one that is very excited to see the Griffins out by a goal.
Yeah, no, the crowd is fantastic today, really creating a great atmosphere inside.
A long ball ahead for Lefebvre. He's going to get there first. Zeese is towards the middle, slows it down, allows the rest of his guys to come up, and this pass then splits between Gander and Zeese. But good work across the pitch. The Griffins able to regain possession as Sears moves it back, and Guelph will slow things down, get themselves organized, and send it all the way back toward Temco, who moves them forward once again. But a turnover there and a hard challenge and foul. That will produce a yellow, no doubt about that, as the Griffins get their first card of the game after Asako, the York coach, got the first card of the contest about 10 minutes ago.
These kinds of positions are going to give York opportunities on goal.
A tough chat. That was Penson going in after as he lost the ball initially and then kind of got caught between not wanting to slide but still halfway down, and unfortunately was the wrong place to be for number 4 in black as he gets put into the referee's book.
Yeah, and you'll have to be careful now on a yellow as a defender at the back. You'll have to be careful being on a yellow now for the rest of the game.
As we alluded to, it was York having that red card back in their semifinal win against Ryerson, coming right around the 20th minute. They played then 90, or around the 30th minute, and then played 90 more with 10 men, but lived to tell the tales. This ball goes in, but there's Svatoslav Artemko going up strong, showing that confidence, and calmly corralling that ball, putting out any York pressure.
Yeah, it's going to be critical for him all game in those situations to take command of his box and really be aggressive.
Both of these goalies, between Artemko and Zimas, not much playing time at all going back to 19. Zimas just the one half that he played back in 2019, but fully taken over the reins here in 2021, and both leading the OUA with 6 clean sheets coming into this contest. Obviously a stat that can be, it's a full team stat, if you will, but certainly speaks to just how good they've been in their true freshman seasons, if you will. Yeah,
Artemenko, this is where you see the real value in a high-performance league in Ontario. Artemenko coming in to play for Guelph United today, falling in love with the community and the area and really deciding to study at the University of Guelph. So you can see the connection, and it's very similar with the York Lions as well.
One of the guys who listed as not being from Ontario, if you will, a Winnipeg, Manitoba product, to go with a couple of BC products that are out here today in this match. Outside of that, though, very Ontario heavy, as you'd imagine both of these roster makeups.
Yeah, no, there's so many players playing here in Ontario, so just the quality is exceptional all around.
Another Griffins throw. It'll be Evan Dick out there to take it.
You can see that York has moved a little bit of their pressure a little higher up the pitch now to try and force Guelph to go a little more direct early as a response, I think, to the goal against.
York now knowing that they will have to find the back of the net here before the 90th minute if they wish to push this on any further, whether it be stoppage time or what have you. The Griffins out to this early 1-0 lead. You alluded to it, Shane, back in 2016. It was the Lions getting on the board first before watching the Griffins mount a comeback. In your eyes here, still early, but what is the kind of keys for Guelph here to make sure that the script doesn't flip on them here in 2021?
I think exactly what you're doing, what you're seeing right now. They're attacking, and trying to pin York back. I think the experience that the Lions had in their semifinal, playing with 10 men, they won't be phased by this sort of opening, and I think you can expect a response from the York Lions for sure.
As we approach the 32nd minute here at Alumni Stadium, Clark Broughton, Shane Campbell here with you on OUA TV or CBC Gem, wherever you happen to be tuning in from today. We are glad to have you here on the University of Guelph campus on what's been, we weren't sure weather-wise coming in. It's held up so far. We'll see what the rest of the day has in store for us. A very busy time of year for varsity sports, and the Griffins fall into that category, no doubt about it, with this OUA championship here today. As the ball played in, the Lions, a quick bicycle kick type off a deflection, I believe, ultimately settles down to Artemko, who will hold on and get the Griffins going back the other way. But again, the Lions working the ball in towards the box and creating a few nervous moments for the home side.
Yeah, just really good midfield play. Gets Marzouk in behind for his opportunity.
Sears over to the far sideline, gets control of it ahead for Gander. Played back towards the middle. McKee running with it on the edge of that 18-yard box. Now up top they work it again. Long drive in from Sears, doesn't find anyone in black, and instead the Lions, Aparicio able to move it ahead, now turn back the other way. Lefebvre with a chance, gets a strike away. That goes off a Lion foot, and the Griffins will have their first corner of the game, which is something that head coach Keith Mason has really instilled in this team, and they have shown very good performance from these set pieces throughout 2021.
Yeah, they've, between Alex Zeiss, Colin Gander, they've got players that will put the ball exactly where they have scripted the runs to go.
This is Gander taking it. Looks like he'll be setting up to use the left foot. The Griffins begin to pack in that box. Couple guys remain up high. Played low, back to Gander. Now he sends it in towards the corner, just over top of the net and off the field goal upright. As a good look there, Gander had it bending, but just a couple feet too high.
Yeah, really clever set piece, and using Colin's left foot, Gander's left foot is a real weapon there.
Nearly finding that top corner, just sailed it. And we remain a 1-0 score here on a Saturday afternoon that features all kinds of things going on in the Guelph Griffin world. You have this right now as well, the men's football team down in Western for their OUA West final, and a spot in the Yates Cup on the line down there. They're both men and women's hockey are in action tonight. Both men and women's basketball are in Hamilton to take on McMaster. You get to November, and obviously the soccer and the football and the rugby start wrapping up, but you get a whole nother wave of sports, and it's a busy time on campus.
Yeah, it is, and big shout out to the Guelph Griffin women's soccer team and their support today, and all of the Griffin student athletes that are here supporting the men's team today, as well as the community of Guelph.
No doubt about it. If a Griffin squad isn't playing right now, I've got a pretty good guess that they're sitting right here in front of us at the moment. And you could hear the crowd rumbling as Gander got set up for that corner as well. Very enthusiastic crew set up here in the bleachers at Alumni Stadium. The Lions trying to get going again. Yuma has it knocked away, but it stays in York possessions. They work it down the far side. Olatoye plays it back. Towards the middle they go, looking for a little bit of daylight. Passed in, that's going to be intercepted. Knocked into the air, bounced off a couple bodies, and the Lions maintain control. Another drive, that's off a Griffin body and out of play. As the Lions, for the first time, I would say, Shane, kind of feels like some maintained possession in the Guelph end right now. It's been a lot of one and dones, if you will, or quickly down and quickly out with either a good attempt or a turned over ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And when they have that, you can see they're patient. They're patient and waiting for that moment. Even though they're deep in the Griffins' half, they're patient.
Now back in tight it comes again, and up goes Artemko and corrals it. You see the confidence just every time, despite being that first year eligible. There's nothing to it. You talked about the Guelph United and just how much you can see that experience, and obviously the critical moments he's had in these playoffs so far, whether it be not just stopping that corner, but Carleton had 8 shots in that game total that got on goal. He was solid all night. You go back to the Ontario Tech match in these quarterfinals when he stopped a couple of kicks in the penalty shootout. He's had his moments, and he's lived up to all of them.
Yeah, he's just on an exceptional run this season. Really has led the team in so many ways. Even his leadership from the back and how he organizes his back line and organizes the team, just incredible. Near
turnover, but Evan Dick saw it happening, quickly able to get back and prevent much further damage as Zeiss goes after this ball, but it settles down for Marzouk. Ahead for Yuma, too far for him. Back towards the midfield, Zambassis. Played out to the sideline. Marzouk back on it. Zambassis again is now once again the Lions starting to show that patience as they work to the far side. Bit of daylight, charging forward and out wide for Olatoye. Driving down, tries to cross it in off a Griffin body, and it's going to settle down for Doros, who gets it up ahead, and for the time being prevents the pressure from the York Lions.
Yeah, Olatoye and Gander are having a great battle out there on the outside channel of the pitch. You can tell they're trying to get the ball to Olatoye, who's really looking to go 1v1 against Gander, and so far, Gander's been up for the task today.
We've been treated to a very good first nearly 38 minutes so far here on the University of Guelph campus. Griffins leading 1-0 as the Lions have started to take a bit more of that possession arrow back their way here the past few moments, but now a quick turnover as the Griffins try to get into transition. It comes to Zeese right at midfield. Slows it down, lets them get organized, and now ahead they come as they cross that midfield marker with Marchant. Ahead it goes. Cutting outside, though, was McKee as the ball goes in, and York will get their foot back on the ball.
Yeah, I think you're seeing now York is really starting to establish themselves in the match. They've maintained more of the possession in the last 10 minutes as they work patiently to find their opportunity.
Settling it down in their own back end now. Pass across the pitch is going to sail too far and out of play for a Griffin throw. So Guelph will be able to move themselves up a little bit here as we are about 6 minutes away from stoppage time of the first half with the Griffins up by 1 off the throw. Quickly York back on the ball. Yuma Marzouk, couple Griffins crashing on him, goes out to his right, trying to work around Doros, plays it out. Olatoye, now Marzouk heading down towards that right corner, trying to dance around. That's taken away for a moment by Doros. Good work down there as he gets the Griffins out of trouble. Now Sears runs away from one man, trying to keep the ball alive, cutting across midfield ahead for Dick. Couldn't quite get it to him. Evan was nearly in to a good crossing position, but that ball intercepted at the last moment by Aparicio, preventing what would have been a very good Guelph opportunity.
Yeah, you can see just what Lucas Doros means defensively, and you can see the record that the Guelph Griffins have this year defensively. Doros is always there to snuff out the danger.
This being game number 13, if you go regular season and postseason for the Griffins, and again through those first 12, just 4 goals allowed. Doros obviously a key piece of that, as he brings that experience, the defensive stabilities you've talked about. And he's had the touch offensively as well for the Griffins here this season. But between him, you got Vidovic as well. This Griffins crew, along with Artemko, ultimately is that last line of defense, has just been very technically sound. I don't want to speak out of turn not being a coach, but at the same time, seem to be very good fundamentally. And ultimately, it's shown them great results here to this point.
Yeah, not only are they great defenders, but they can start attacks because they're, their talent is evident on the ball. So I think that's why you're seeing success on both sides.
The Lions trying to figure out a way to break through. They've had a couple close calls. This pass doesn't get through. A couple chances throughout, but yet to find the back of the Guelph goal here to this point. And the Griffins, of course, if you could guarantee them they're going to bend but not break the rest of the game, they'd gladly take that up by a goal.
Well, what they'll look for here in the last little minute is if York really pushes and presses to see if they can find something out in the channel on a counterattack.
Evan Dick able to play it up to Zeese, loses the ball as he was quickly double-teamed. Seagor moving through the middle of the pitch, plays it down, comes back. Nearly taken away by Lefebvre on that far side, but the Lions continue to control. Working wherever there's space, calmly passing it around, getting everyone a touch.
Well, you can see here, Guelph's got their line of 5 at the back, and York is trying to find that width, but it's really difficult. Guelph's really compacting the space well.
This ball ahead a little too strong, and Guelph will be able to slow things down here with about 3 minutes to go before we get the stoppage time indication. I can't think of too much that's gone on here in this first half for that to be a terribly long stoppage time period, but we'll wait for the official announcement on that. We near halftime how critical is it for these Griffins to try and make sure it is a 1-0 game now going into the half when you're this close?
Yeah, you want to carry that into the half, no doubt. And so, as you can see, they're not taking any chances. Artemenko's, playing long out of the back on the goal kick, making sure that, nothing's given away cheaply at the back.
Working along that far sideline, this is going to roll out of bounds again. It'll be the Griffins getting awarded the throw as they quickly bring it in. Content to work it back and work ahead from the goal. They do just that as this gets launched down towards the York side. That's going to hit a couple of bodies off Black. White ball again. Now they go quickly in. The Lions, no time to waste here as the half closing in. 1-0 Guelph out in front on the McKee goal, which deflected off a body into the back of the Lions net behind George Zimas. Nothing he could do about, unfortunately, except for just watch it take that spin and head a different direction before having to dig it out of the back of the goal. Now, good work on that far sideline by the Griffins. Takes the ball away, but it's going to be a Lions throw. About a minute and a half or so until stoppage time of this first half.
Yeah, Guelph's going to have to stay compact here, really make them, go back into the sides.
Breeze starting to pick up again, pushing from left to right across your screen wherever you may be joining us from. Glad to have you tagging along for what's been a very good first 43 minutes and change here at Alumni Stadium, the OUA 2021 Men's Soccer Championship between the Guelph Griffins and York Lions. Long ball ahead. It's going to settle just about a yard shy of the goal line. Back towards the middle to the boot of, that was Yuma, but couldn't quite direct it on goal. A close call for the Griffins as that ball got held up in the wind and sat just shy of the goal line, nearly giving York that opportunity they were so desperately wanting.
Well, the wind that you mentioned, actually, that long ball out of the back, the wind almost held it up a little bit, and I think it caught Evan Dick by surprise, and York was able to get the ball in the box, and you can see Yuma's right there to try and finish it.
Certainly off the boot from about 40 yards out. It looked like it was sailing in well beyond that end line, but the wind took control of it, and next thing you know, the Lions on the verge of making it a tie game as the Griffins nearly able to get going the other way. With that ball, a little too much pace to it for Sears to catch up. Instead, a York throw. 45 minutes in the books. It sounds like 1 minute coming over the announcing booth. So we'll give them one more to go here before we hit the half at Alumni Stadium. Griffins out in front by a goal, trying to keep it at least that here as we head towards the half, but a bit more pressure from the Lions. Into the box they go. Return feed doesn't get through. Another swing at it. That hits a Griffin body, and Guelph able to settle it down, more than happy to just launch it back out to midfield, quickly sent back in. Trying to get control of it, the Griffins do. Sears comes back. Now this is going to be sent towards the sidelines and out of play. So a York throw. The Lions very much pushing, trying to find that equalizer before this first half expires. They've come close now a couple times here in these past few moments, as you can feel that momentum swing a little bit towards the visitors. This ball doesn't get through. The Griffins trying to come back, maybe one last push before the half. Cutting across the field, taken down. No foul called, and that will do it for the first half as Mitch Lefebvre took off, trying to find some daylight, nearly did. But we come to the half, a half that I'm sure head coach Keith Mason would be more than happy with. Anytime you're up by a goal, that's good news for your squad.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be really happy with that first half performance. Of course, he's not going to want them to sit back as much as they did in the last 10 minutes, but it's expected from a York Lions team that's going to put you under pressure the entire time. Clark, I want to give a shout out to the 1990 group that's here. There's the 1990 Guelph Griffins men's team. 1990 played in the OUA final here, defeating the University of Toronto, and a number of those alumni are here today, enjoying themselves in the out at Alumni Stadium at the University of Guelph. So a big shout out to all of those gentlemen who have been instrumental in our alumni association.
We have talked about a little bit 1990, of course, the last time this game was played at this university and on this same field. 1-0 Guelph in front of U of T then. They're up 1-0 now against a team kind of from Toronto, if you will. Maybe history repeats itself in these next 45.
Yeah, well, if you're wearing the Griffin today, you certainly want that history to repeat itself. But I think everybody who follows football understands that the York Lions are not going to roll over in the second half.
It's certainly been a very good contest thus far. Shane, your thoughts as the Griffins up by 1, kind of what the message will be from head coach Keith Mason as they get the second 45 started?
I think he'll really say to make sure that they keep them, keep them really, tight at the back, make sure they don't give anything away. But he'll not want them to sit back. I think he'll really want them to push York back. He'll expect a push from the York Lions. And so I think, he'll want to make sure that his team still gets forward, gets up the pitch, that he gets Gander wide and starts to exploit that space behind the York Lions back line. He will not want to sit back and give them, allow York to get close to the Griffins' goal.
Now, obviously, no matter what you do, this York side's just too talented. You're not going to prevent every opportunity, but to minimize those chances. And as it looks right now, again, not to jinx anything one way or another, but Artemko seems to be feeling it. He's been rolling all throughout the year. If York does get a couple of those shots, you got to feel okay as the Griffin side that your last line of defense is right there for you.
Yeah, I think that'll be one thing that will come out of the halftime talk is that they're very confident in their goalkeeper. Artemenko is just again. I think the way he commands his box is exceptional, both in the way he plays out with his feet or whether it's he's coming out to grab across. And I know that they'll have great faith in him. And they've got an incredible leader in Ian Vidovic. Ian Vidovic has been in this position. He's an experienced captain, just a great young man that I think will also help to galvanize the back line for the Guelph Griffins in the second half.
Although it doesn't guarantee anything necessarily, a second goal would obviously be huge for Guelph in this second half, but at the same time, how do you balance that? Well, is there kind of a way to balance that as you go looking for one but not at the same time?
I think what Coach Mason will try and do is try and ensure that they compact the space. They make sure that they don't give anything away centrally for York. They won't want to allow Yuma too much access to the ball. And I think they'll just wait. They'll wait for their moment. He'll figure that at some point as this half progresses, if the score stays 1-0, York will continue to send numbers forward and Guelph will look probably to hit on a counterattack. So, but we're looking over Coach Asako and his staff talking to his group, and if there's one thing that we all know and we are clear on is that Coach Asako and the York Lions will definitely have a response in the second half, and he'll have a way that they will try and find their opportunities. So Guelph have to be really clear about their strategy in the second half because we're in for a great second half of football.
There's no doubt about that as the Griffins jump out to this 1-0 lead on that McKee goal for Guelph to go up by 1 with 45 minutes here to go as we head down to field level. Scotty Fraser is with the Griffins bench boss.
Coach, a strong opening half for your team in the very first game or final game here in the 31 years. You guys came up with some confidence and a big crowd to back you up. What did you like most about your side's half?
Well, I think we started really well the first 30 minutes. We battled, we fought, we were totally in the game. We used their width quite well, and it was a good strong half, and we got the goal. A little bit of luck, a little bit of a deflection, which we're happy about for us.
proud to be a Griffin.
I'm proud to be a Griffin.
I'm proud to be a Griffin.
Welcome to the heart of Guelph. Beautiful alumni stadium on the campus of the University of Guelph.
The bowling line is so worth it.
Fanola cuts one. Templeton scores!
Ball's up, and the ball's good. She's tied the game.
She's got game.
Go crazy, Guelph! Your Griffins are 7-time OUA champions. As I live and breathe, the unbelievable has happened. The Guelph Griffins have finally won a national championship. You can't take a Griffin!
Where exceptional student athletes are born, where records are broken, where great plays are made, where school colors ignite passion, where champions prevail, where tradition is celebrated, Ontario University Athletics.
This is the heart of Griff Nation. This is home. Home of the Guelph Griffins. Located in the heart of southwestern Ontario, our campus covers over 1,000 beautiful acres. Residing on the treaty lands and the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Griffins are committed to building stronger relationships with people who were on this land before, and are dedicated to learning, living, and working together. This isn't just another campus. This is the University of Guelph. Welcome to one of the top comprehensive universities in all of Canada, with a student experience that is second to none. Here, you're not just a number. You're a Griffin. Our culture is one of inclusion and excellence. As a Griffin, you're surrounded by people who care about each other and our community, a community which we are proud to represent on the field of play. As Griffins, we honor the past, a rich history which includes accomplished alumni, over 60 national championships, and over 140 conference titles. We support the present. Our varsity student athletes are provided the resources they need to succeed in the classroom, in their sport, and in life. Griffin student athletes are game changers, both athletically and academically,
with 1 in 3 being recognized as academic All-Canadians.
And we're preparing for the future with world-class facilities and some of the best coaches in their sport. We are attracting the very best and brightest student athletes from across Canada and all around the world. So join us. Become a Griffin. Help us write the latest chapter in our decorated Griffin history. Here, you're not just coming to a campus. You're coming home. Home of the Guelph Griffins.
To Alumni Stadium, Clark Broughton and Shane Campbell here with you, getting ready for the second half of this OUA championship. The Guelph Griffins 1, York Lions 0 through 45 minutes of play as the two teams switch sides and get themselves ready to roll for what could be 45 minutes to a championship for Guelph, or could be the same for York, or we could be looking at another 30 to play. Everything certainly, Shane, still in play here today as we get ourselves set for the second half. We are underway. The Lions starting with possession. The Griffins trying to win their third OUA championship in school history, of course, winning back in 2016 under the direction of head coach Keith Mason. But as we've talked about all day, that 1990s team as well, the last team to host and then ultimately win here, a very memorable one too.
Yeah, I just give another shout out to all the guys that are here today. You can see them. It's really nice, in all sports at the varsity level. That's what gets created when memories and special moments are made, and you come back as an alumni. That's sort of a special thing, and to see all those guys there today, just having a chance to reconnect with each other and share those memories from '90. I know they're having a great time today, watching a great game of football.
It's certainly something that's very hard to duplicate, the feeling, that family, so on and so forth, that you get, whether it's coming to school here, returning as an alum, whether you're parents of kids that attended or whatever the case. Not much like it, especially when you get into the varsity sporting aspect of it, that really creates that kind of special bond among so many different people.
Yeah, because it's a short period in your life, and there's a lot that goes on, and then you step away and life happens and life starts, and the opportunity to come back and just recreate some of that stuff. It's a great opportunity, and so it's really nice to see them enjoying it today. And of course, they're really happy right now at the way the game stands.
It is a 1-0 Griffins lead here early in this second half. The Lions try to work themselves forward, quickly cleared, but the Lions back in possession. A very, very good contest to this point between these two sides. A long shot gets blocked. Another long strike just over the bar. Almost equalizing it. Nico Seagor sent that one flying from about, give or take, 22, 23 yards away, and just over the bar, going directly off of that field goal post crossbar right above it.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Seagor today. He's just shown some outstanding midfield play, and almost had his moment and got a reward for it all.
He had the game winner against Ryerson as Lefebvre tries to break ahead. He's going to settle his ball down, play it back up. Gander crossing it in, looking for a Griffin. No one in black on the returning end of that, or on the receiving end of that ball. It comes all the way back up to midfield before the Griffins play it back down, deflected out, and it will be a throw for Guelph. But as we talked about with Seagor coming so close there, he had that game-winning goal against Ryerson in what was a crazy contest. We've talked about the red card part and playing with 10 men. They were up 2-0 through the first half. Ryerson, a couple of second-half goals as this one is launched off the boot of local kid Gray Yates, sending it over the bar. Gray, of course, the first local product on this team since, I believe, 2016, if my memory serves me correctly. Always a tremendous thing to see, and head coach Keith Mason absolutely thrilled about having local talent to play on the local school. Yeah,
well, the 16 product you're referring to is Ethan Daniele, and Ethan had a storied career here as a University of Guelph Griffin midfielder, fantastic left-footed player, and I know that Gray has come in this year, scored some really important goals for the Griffins.
Earlier in the year, he had a game winner, did Gray Yates. Now this ball intercepted, played forward, and ahead again, giving chase. This is Gander. He's got a bit of daylight down the left side, playing it back to the middle. No one there to pick it up for Guelph, and York will clear the pressure. Aparicio takes it out, and now a York throw as the official's going to have a word on the far side. I believe that's with McKee after he knocked that ball away after rolling out of bounds. But Gander going for a little bit of a run, just kind of not quite enough room to work down that side, and no one quite with him in time to break into that box.
Yeah, I think his lungs were busting there at the end of that run, because had he cut inside, he might have had access, directly to the goal himself. But I think, he'd come from so deep, he was looking to try and have someone run onto it.
Certainly goes without saying, but the next goal in this contest, should there be one, obviously going to be a very crucial moment if Guelph can find themselves up 2 in the second half, a tremendous place to be. Of course, if it goes the other way, all of a sudden New York's right back in this match.
Yeah, it's this match is long from done yet, and so, both teams you can see here early. I don't think anyone's sitting and waiting. York is pressing to try and get the goal to tie this up, and you can see that Guelph is just waiting. When those opportunities, they're really pressing forward to try and find something on a counter.
When you're Coach Asako and you know just how well this Griffins team is held up in their own end throughout the season as Guelph launches it forward, does that play into your idea of getting right from the start of the second half, going on the attack and not waiting back at all, and suddenly only having about 20-25 minutes per se to crash down on this team when you know how well they've been defensively?
Yeah, they I don't think they can wait. They won't be impatient about it, but I don't think that they can wait. Oh,
has taken down in the box and pointing to the spot in the 52nd minute. Here is your opportunity if you are Guelph. A Griffins penalty kick coming up as we get the replay. McKee goes in after this ball, taken down. That is Jurisic who got him. And now stepping up to the spot, it's going to be Doros for Guelph. The OUA West Player of the Year for 2021. A chance to put his team up by 2.
A huge moment in this fixture right here, a huge moment.
The Alumni Stadium stands are rumbling. It's going to be the right foot of Doros. 2-0 Griffins! Doros goes right. Zemos guesses left. And the Griffins go up by 2.
That is a pivotal moment early in the second half. What a penalty. What great placement under, it's a big pressure moment here in this match. And Doros comes through with an exceptionally well-taken penalty.
Lucas Doros out of Newmarket, Ontario. His 4th goal now of 2021, that being regular season and postseason. We talk so much about his defensive strength and holding things together in his own end. Calmly steps up to the spot and puts it away without any issue, going into the far right side of that goal to give the Griffins a 2-goal lead. Lucas Doros trying to get his team to Carleton for the national championships. He put them with one quick strike. Oh, so close now. 2-goal lead. 53rd minute as we sit at the moment. And now, Shane, if you are the York Lions, you almost just have to start attacking, don't you?
Yeah, you can't wait now. You can't wait till the 75th minute to try and break something down. This will change the ideas likely that Coach Asako had at the beginning of the second half, and they'll have to push numbers forward and go for it.
They are fired up at Alumni Stadium now. I can feel it shaking up here in the booth as they do everything they possibly can to cheer on their Griffins to what they hope is now 37 minutes away from the third OUA championship, as I try to spit this out properly, of the Griffins' history, which would then, as we mentioned, send them off to Carleton as well. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I said to Coach Keith Mason before the game, if you defeat Carleton and then defeat York, I think you've earned your spot at the national championship.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Coach Mason has huge respect for both of those squads, and he knows how talented they are. And he will not want his team to sit back on any of this, even on a 2-0 lead. It can turn the game can turn on its head very quickly. So they will not want to take anything away from what they've been doing so far.
It's gotten them out to a 2-goal lead. Now we watch for the Lions' response. Trying to run this ball down. Yuma, it's kicked high into the air. Comes down momentarily for Gander, gets it ahead, and now it's a race. Sears up towards midfield, comes loose. McKee after it as well. The Lions ultimately get control. Trying to work back down to that Griffins end. Now stuck by 2. The urgency going higher and higher. This is going to be a corner kick. Yuma plays that off of Penson, who is playing on that yellow card right now. That, of course, very noteworthy. As you talked about earlier, Shane, you're up by 2. The last thing you need now is suddenly a 10-man situation if something gets caught there.
Yeah, and so, we mentioned in the first half, those minutes after a goal is scored are crucial, and this is another moment here.
Long corner headed towards the box. Played away calmly. The Lions still with it for a moment. Peeling away with the ball. Aparicio back down towards the goal line. Looking to send it in front of the goal. Plays it into the box. And that's going to be calmly cleared away. Now the Griffins potentially with numbers if they get rolling. Long pass ahead. Trying to find Gray Yates. Intercepted just prior to getting to him. In front of that ball was Principato, who only 5'4" in stature, but able to rise up and intercept that pass and prevent any further Griffin rush.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that be the theme for the rest of this match, is that Guelph will, try and weather the pressure and the attack that York has, and then just wait for those moments and hit quickly on counterattacks. I think that will be a lot of what we're going to see for the duration of the match today.
Doros able to intercept that ball, the man who just scored from the spot before being taken down by Yuma, ultimately drawing the foul, giving the Griffins the ball back as they get it down towards the York end. Sears takes it away, then Sears taken down hard, running through the play. Gander settling it with his left foot. We've seen how dangerous it could be off of a set piece. Now Mitchell Fave fires, and he's hurting as his leg swung into a York body. Mitch still down as York plays it ahead. Mitch in obvious discomfort. This ball rolls out of play. Mitch still not to his feet, and now we're going to have everything stopped for the time being as Mitch holding that right leg right into the knee, I believe it was, of Aparicio. And you hope Mitch is good as he gets back to his feet now. Trying to get his legs back underneath him, shake it out a bit. He, of course, as you've mentioned, Shane, one of the 2 guys, I guess 3 if you include assistant coach Justin Springer as well, a part of that 2016 team that last won an OUA title. The Griffins, again, ahead now. These counter opportunities will be there as York will be putting bodies forward. Gray Yates trying to run through everybody. Ball bounces away from him. Now Mitch takes another swing. Comes up empty on this one, but it'll be a Guelph throw about 25 yards in front of the York net.
Yeah, and I think we haven't mentioned him today, but I think number 16, Jack Sears for the University of Guelph is just having just a fantastic game in the midfield today. His ability on the ball, and he's really managing the tempo for the University of Guelph today. Just an exceptionally great young player.
Sears, one of the OUA West All-Stars that was named just about a week ago when those conference honors came out. Sears making that list. Again, with soccer, some of those middle guys can often get lost, or the defenders, because I think you're in a situation where people look at the score sheet and they look for the goals, they look for the assists, but some of those guys, a la Jack Sears, who can find the back of the net, but certainly contributes to this team in so many other key ways.
Yeah, you can see there he is on the ball again. He just, in establishing that tempo. It's hard sometimes because, you can see obviously the importance of, of the attack and goal scorers, but you need people in the engine room, which is your midfield, which can connect both sides, and Jack has done that incredibly well for the University of Guelph Griffins this year.
There he was again, getting on the ball, playing it off of a white body, and out of play as Guelph back. Had it for a moment before being taken away. The Lions trying to get any kind of offense rolling now, stuck by 2. Obviously night and day the difference between trailing 1-0 at halftime to then going down 2-0 off of that Doros penalty kick. Early in this second half, the Griffins just trying to do obviously the opposite, keep York away from those high danger areas. They will generate some chances through these next 30 minutes, I am sure, But all the same, if Guelph can keep those really high-quality ones to a minimum, they've got a great chance here at booking their trip to Carleton and celebrating an OUA championship when this one rings finished.
What they've done is a really good job so far today of denying access into York's number 9, Yuma. And I think that's really, disrupted the attack of the York Lions.
12 goals so far on the year for Mercy Yuma. He has been a tremendous talent, spending now this his second year with the York Lions. When you go through it back to 19, add it all up, he's already got himself 20 career goals in those couple of seasons. He, the East Division Player of the Year this year, and really hard to argue when you put forth a 12-goal, 5-assist season.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's many or anyone probably that would argue with that.
Perhaps will it be number 9 to try and get the Lions back into this one? They will certainly be looking for him. Between him and Marzouk, we've seen Olatoye getting some things generated down the sideline, but the Griffins so far, excellent job in their own end preventing these opportunities as Lefebvre works it ahead, trying to run this down McKee. He's on it first. Excuse me, that's Jack Sears on it as he still now takes it down low, working around one defender towards the middle of the box. No one home. Evan Dick trying to run this down before it goes out, sliding. He doesn't quite get it. Nearly kept the play alive, but instead York will get a throw. Dick kicks it away, and that's going to be a yellow for a delay of game situation. That's the second time now where the Griffins have been caught doing that. I don't think it was Evan the first time around, but obviously the team was probably warned after that first one, and now Evan getting the yellow here.
Yeah, it'll be critical that they keep their heads about them now in this sort of middle portion of the second half. You don't want anything to give away, and when you get yourself on a yellow, it just takes a tackle and or something else, and that second yellow can just change the landscape of the game.
We are just into the 63rd minute of this 2021 OUA Championship. Guelph up by 2. Clark Broughton, Shane Campbell up here in the broadcast booth with you. Again, I don't know how many times I can get away with saying it before something happens, but weather holding up still to this point. We're doing well with about a half hour of regulation time still to play. It's a very cool November afternoon, but nothing out of the ordinary for what you'd expect for Guelph here in the month of November, the 13th day.
Oh yeah, we'll take this on November 13th for sure, and I think the incredibly large and supportive crowd here today is enjoying a great football match, and I think that they're bringing the warmth to the stadium here and keeping that rain away, Clark.
They've had plenty to be excited about here thus far, and as you talked about before, it's easy to be bundled up and to stay warm. As long as that rain can kind of subside, that's when you get into trouble. But we've been treated so far to these two teams being able to take advantage of the conditions. Nothing really to take away from showcasing just how good they are and just why they are here in this match.
Yeah, it's just these kinds of days are so great for our sport and the OUA soccer community in general.
Substitution for the Griffins. Checking in. I didn't catch a number, but I believe it was Mitch Lefebvre who headed off as the Griffs do whatever they do and have to keep fresh legs out there here. Obviously, this is going to be the biggest now about 26 minutes of their season. That's not really drawing up anything new that no one doesn't know about, but 24 minutes or so separating them and an OUA championship plus a trip to Carleton right now. So we'll see what head coach Keith Mason does as far as which legs he brings in, who's he taking out, and who is he content with just to keep out there, because obviously it's fresh legs are one thing, but you still need the right group on the field to try and bring this home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He'll definitely want to make sure, and he'll have had that scripted. He'll know exactly if they were up at this point in the game, whether it was one goal, whether it was 2 goals. He'll have a clear idea of how he would finish the game, or if he needed to chase the game. So he'll have a clear strategy, and they'll know exactly who they need to put in to try and close out this match.
I imagine this is probably the script he was hoping to be using when he got this game going up 2-0 here in this 65th minute.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You put all of those things together as a coach, and you certainly want to turn to the page that says that you're leading in the 64th minute. That's a nice page to turn to, especially in an OUA final.
Damien Truong, number 24 for the Griffins, is who came in for Lefebvre just a few moments ago as this ball out of play, another York throw, as that's a couple now, kind of just moving themselves further down 10 yards at a time, trying to get something happening.
Yeah, well, one goal changes this match.
Into the box, and a good sliding play made. That, I believe, was Vidovic, the Griffins captain. York looking for maybe a handball as he went in after it, awfully close as it comes across your screen. Off the foot and off the stomach, it looks like. He kept his arms back, so a good no call from the official. One penalty has been awarded here in this game. Not a second, though, on that. Instead, just calmly played off by Ian Vidovic, who wears that armband for this team this year, and another guy that just, whether or not you hear his name all the time, he's always back there doing everything required of him by Coach Mason.
Yeah. Ian's just a top leader on this team. Wide amount of experience, both in the OUA and in his League One.
Another ball into the box, and there's Vidovic again. A quick drive from the top of the box. Hits a body in front. Still being controlled by York. Trying to fire that one. Marzouk can't get it through all of the black jerseys. The Lions still in possession. Marzouk crosses this in off a Griffin body, heading down towards the goal line. Played away just in time, a throw rather than a corner. The Lions trying to ramp up the pressure now that they're deep in Guelph's end. Again, Marzouk trying to play it in, but again, the Griffins get in the way and clear the danger for the time being as they send that back up close to midfield. And now a York throw. So the Lions trying to push a bit. Now they're going to make a substitution. Take advantage of this stoppage in the play.
Yeah, let's see what this substitution means. Have they changed anything? Are they going to add an extra number into their attacking line to try and get something here? It's a critical 10 to 15 minutes in the game, especially I think for York. You want to be able to get one. So if you can get one, you can at least make that final push for the second.
Justin Hendricks into the game for the Lions. And now shaking up Jaden Vilfort. Not sure. I almost thought cramps initially, but looks to be okay. He was battling with Truong a few moments ago. In the end, though, York sends it away. We get back underway here at Alumni Stadium. 2-0 Griffins as we near 70 minutes played here in this 2021 OUA Championship. The Lions back on the attack again. Aparicio trying to cross it in again. A Griffin body there. That is just about every cross outside of the one at the end of the first half that almost found Yuma's foot. Seems like there's been a Guelph body to get in front of each and every one of them.
Yeah, they're just not giving any space out there today.
A very good performance thus far.
Yeah, and I think it's in talking with Coach Mason, it's symbolic of what the team has been the entire year. Coach Mason's teams traditionally have been so attacking dominant, but this year their defensive structure has really made them so difficult to break down, especially in moments like these. And we saw in the Carleton game the same thing.
The long ball sent in, heading towards the line. It's going to go out for a goal kick. York trying to press. Going back to that thought, though, Shane, as a coach, you mentioned how Keith, kind of that running gun style before. How much, obviously, you believe in what you believe as far as what's going to get you results. but you got to work to what your talent is, so on and so forth. How do you kind of walk that line of going with what your players are fully capable of and what makes them at their best, but also still sticking with what you believe is the best way to secure those results?
Yeah, well, I think, your responsibility as a coach first and foremost is look at the abilities that your players have and maybe, what they're really good or where their weaknesses lie. And then from there, you create intentions for your team that allow your players to succeed with their strengths and how you put them in those situations. And then you select from there. So I think Coach Mason looked at his group this year and said, as a collective, we have a really strong, committed collective of players, whereas maybe in the past, they've had a couple of...
Gander breaking in, trying to cut to the middle, fires them, big save made by the boot of Zimas. Gander tried to go back across the body. That perhaps would have been good night for York if that finds the back of the net, but instead Zimas keeps the feet together and follows that Gander strike. A crucial save here with just under 20 minutes to go before we reach 90 at Alumni Stadium. The Griffins coming within mere inches of making it a 3-0 contest. Instead, we stay 2-0, and York able to stay alive, as that third goal certainly would have been a massive deflator, I would think, for the visitors.
Oh, yeah, 100% it would have been, 100%. And you can see, as we get back to that earlier conversation, you can see, the use of Colin Gander and his left foot there and his ability to get into the attack. Coach Mason would have looked at that and how he set his team up this year with that in mind.
Another booking for the Griffins. Couldn't quite tell who the official was pointing his yellow card at, as there were about 3 Griffins in the vicinity, but clearly it wasn't one of the 2 that already have a yellow, as the red didn't come out. But now if you're Guelph, you have 3 guys sitting on yellow cards with, it was Evan Dick with the one. I believe Owen McKee, if I recall correctly, had the first one. And now the third one just displayed as well, as York hustling, trying to find a ball on that sideline to set up here for this corner kick attempt. Perhaps one little moment is all it takes to get themselves back into this match. Launched in, headed away, calmly now kicked away as the Griffins, both teams, misfired on that initial cross in, but it's Guelph finding it in the end to send it out of play.
Well, this will be the 10 minutes here. You can see York's going to push for everything right now to try and get on the board and then to make the final minutes of the match something where they chase the equalizer. You can just tell. And so this is a critical 10 minutes of the match.
We'll see what the Griffins have to try and fend off this dominant Lions program that has been oh so good for oh so many years. A little tug of the jersey there. Racing out for this. Artemko gets there first and gobbles it up. And now they're going to come back here for the card on Sears. Perhaps that little tug. I believe the official played advantage by the looks of it. And now a word with Marzouk, who went over top of Artemko after he came out to gobble up that ball.
Yeah, he allowed the advantage to go and to see what would have happened at the end of that passage of play. But again, a dangerous piece here, and you can see York is building momentum and Guelph is bending. They're not breaking yet. We're in for a fantastic 18 minutes here.
The Griffin faithful here at Alumni Stadium getting loud, trying to support this Griffins defense as they take on this set piece. 42 yards from the goal. This will be launched in as they all crash in towards the net. Comes loose, down towards the goal. It's knocked away and out of play again. The Griffins defense holds strong, extinguishing that York chance. Now the offside flag goes up as this gets played down, and the Griffins will calmly be able to get things set up for themselves, take control of the ball with no Lions allowed around after that offside call.
No, it's great. It's hard to hear up in the booth here with how loud the crowd has been. I see all the members of the Griffin women's soccer team down there with their signs cheering on the men's team here. The support has been fantastic for everybody here today.
No doubt about it. And as we get closer to the late, well, we're into the late stages now, if you will, but as we get closer to a conclusion, this crowd has ramped it up an extra few notches for the home stretch. We have a little over 15 minutes still to go until we reach that 90th minute, and then we will see where we go as far as stoppage time from there. But Guelph still leading by 2. York has been pushing and pressing, but the Griffins defense that has done such a great job this season of not allowing many goals has held up to this point. Now Yuma, he's a man that can change that in a hurry. Driving down the left side, looking for a lane. Ball knocked off his foot for a moment, able to recollect, now played off a Griffin, and this will be a York corner. You see Yuma just creating anything he can for the visitors here late.
Yeah, they're going to throw numbers in the box here now and really try and get something. This is when you'll see Artemenko and his experience and command of the box really come in handy.
Long corner, high into the air, comes all the way across the pitch, and again, this time it's Gray Yates getting his boot on it, clearing the danger. The Lions trying to move forward. Vilfort sending it into the box, a chance, and that's blocked. The Griffins
Here's
again
your counter.
out in front, now with numbers, potentially 2-on-1. The Griffins charging down the field, bringing it forward. McKee knocked off his foot and then played away as the Lions retreat. They were in full-on run-back mode there. Only one defender back, but the Lions able to get back in time and disrupt that potential kind of hockey-style 2-on-1, if you will, and again prevent what would be a very detrimental third goal.
Yeah, it was almost classic, like they had taken a little note out of Sean Camper's book over at Griffin Men's Hockey. No, a crucial intervention from York there, because I think a third goal here would definitely spell the end of the game.
You got to imagine, too, if you don't get back. I like my chances in a 2-on-1 in soccer a little better than I do with hockey as well. And they work pretty good in hockey, so that's saying something. But in any case, the Griffins back on the ball again. This into the box, sprawled out. It's loose, bouncing around, and there's your third goal. Putting it home off the bench, Damien Truong comes in, loses the top in celebration, and with 14 minutes to go, the Griffins can sense it. Artemko's all the way 70 yards down the field. The Griffins waving at this tremendous crowd here at Alumni Stadium. Unable to find it, Zemos had it bounce away. Truong sticks with it, and the Griffins go up by 3.
Well, you know, sports has many stories, and Damien has been injured for a good part of the year at different times, and to see him come out here and contribute today and score that third goal, it's just great. It's the stuff that sports is made of.
Off the bench, comes in, now gets a yellow card too for the celebration and the delay that everything took. His undershirt no longer being used, but I don't think he could care any less at this moment after scoring that third goal. He's plenty warm enough now, as Evan Dick looks like he's going to have the rest of his night. Well, is it a substitution or is he hurt? Does he adjust the shorts? Looks like just a straight-up substitution, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's just a straight-up substitution. Again, you're going to see they're going to shore up that back line. And look, they're not going to want to give anything away. They're going to want to finish this game off the way that they started. They're not going to want anything to happen now.
Here we go again now as the Griffins bringing the ball up, do their best to play as much keep away as they can and keep the ball far down in that York end. I mentioned with Svetoslav being a Winnipeg product, a couple other BC products. Going outside of Ontario, though, Damien Truong, also of Winnipeg, Manitoba, coming in and getting that goal that very well may have sent the Griffins now on to Carleton as OUA champions. Just 11 minutes away. You can feel it in the air here at the stadium. The fans are sensing it. The players certainly in that celebration of that third goal, more than sensing it. And now just a matter of making sure they keep things clean here down the stretch. And they should be in pretty good shape as far as becoming the University of Guelph, becoming 3-time men's soccer OUA champs.
Yeah, they've incredible performance today, but they got to see this thing out.
Now a chance in tight. There's one right back. Yuma quickly, and now getting in tight around the goal. But quickly Yuma comes in and puts it home, so don't go anywhere just yet. 3-1 that's an 80th minute goal. We've got 10 and a half to go. As you see Yuma cut through, find that far side. Not a lot of daylight over there, but there's a man that is more than capable of finding it from any space. And Yuma doing whatever he can to keep the Lions alive. We now have a 3-1 contest. This played ahead. Gander takes it down towards the goal line. Now he's going to look maybe a quick response into the box. Taking a swing. McKee didn't catch the ball, caught a body instead. Flying in was Aparicio trying to break it up, and he did just that, but took the boot of McKee to do it. But at this point, anything you got to do to try and keep yourselves alive, it's by all means necessary now.
Oh, yeah, everything's going to go forward here. Everything's going to go to just try and get something back in the box. But you can see it just takes moments, right? Moments are all it takes. And
we've lost our score clock now as well here. Right around the 80th minute, give or take. We'll see if they get that going. I just set the stopwatch, so if we base it off of that 80th minute, we'll see what we have. But we can tell you it's now 3-1. Guelph in front of York is an 80th minute marker from Yuma. We'll see if it gives the Lions enough late life here in these final stages. That ball along the sideline is going to remain with York as they try to find now that second one to pull back within one.
Well, a quick second here, if they were able to find it, would certainly make for some anxious moments to finish the game today.
No doubt about it. It was celebratory and jubilation about 5 minutes ago after Truong came in and put Guelph up 3-0. Now a long ball sent in, punched out by Artemko. Bodies flying for it. It comes loose outside the box, and the Griffins are going to get possession. Charging ahead. McKee splits the D and taken down. This will be a foul and a card being issued, I believe, was Principato. Now they show a card to Vilfort.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to Vilfort.
I thought I had 20 on the challenge. But in any case, nearly home free were the Griffins there as we get the replay on the screen now. Charging through. And it did look like, anyways, doesn't make much of a difference. A yellow issued, and the Griffins will get to set up shop about 40 yards out from the net.
Well, I think you're seeing today why Owen McKee has become such a crucial part of Coach Mason's plan here in the latter half of the season. Just that ability on the counterattack, and I don't think he stopped running today at all.
He had 1 goal and 3 assists throughout this 2021 year. Heading into today, he had, as it stood a few moments ago, the game-winning goal with that first one. That is now switched thanks to the Yuma late marker as the contest sits at a 3-1 score. The Griffins clearing the ball away. That's going to fly into their own bench. No one out there trying to slow it up either. They'll gladly let that ball sail over top. Whatever time they can kill off this clock as it gets back up on the scoreboard now. 82:53 and counting is where they sit there. The Griffins that close to their 3rd OUA championship and what would be a second in 5 years. 5 seasons if you get rid of the COVID. I tell you what, this COVID part really messes with your stats and everything when you're trying to keep track of what's what when there was no 2020 season, but you still have a year. And university sports, their eligible years versus their academic years is all twisted up now. But more than, I'm sure you share the same sentiments, just more than happy to be back and have gotten a season in as well.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you have to give a shout out to, all of the people that have worked at each individual institution in the OUA in general. All the facility staffs at all of the schools, just the work that they've all done to give these student athletes the opportunity to be back on the pitch.
Goal kick awarded to the Griffins here is awfully close to York generating a corner, and something like that late, that's all it would take is one kick, one head, and suddenly you're really sweating out the final 5-6 minutes as it sits at the moment, but a goal kick that Artemko will take his time with before launching it down and letting the Griffins try to move the ball down the field as they can.
Yeah, these...
On to Gray's foot, trying to work around a few lines, but about 3 or 4 of them crashed in on him. Back towards midfield. Doros. Now Sears trying to find it. Gets around one before being taken down. And the Lions back the other direction. Along the close sideline here, this right side. Now Doros taken down, and there's your foul. Yuma not happy as his boot got caught up in Doros, who went down. The replay on your screen didn't catch him by much, but Doros down, and the Griffins awarded a free kick here. 85th minute in the books, 5 away from stoppage. Guelph by 2 in this 2021 OUA Championship. The Lions, that's all they have left to work with to try and find 2 more markers, and what would be a very dramatic way of forcing extra time here and further extending this championship match. Sears on the ball, trying to play keep away and get going forward for Yates. A little too far for him, and the Lions are going to move back the other direction with pace. Here come the Lions. Principato plays it out wide, back towards the box. That's cleared away by Vidovic, and the Griffins able to jump on it once again as they send it down the field. Vilfort, the only one there, will pick it up and again move back into Guelph's half. Ball on his foot. Vilfort plays it across. Now working in towards the box. A long shot. That's blocked by Yates. Didn't know where the ball went, but he knew it hit him as he looked around through the sky. Didn't find it, but able to clear from danger. Now back into the box. That's knocked away. Doros sends it high into the air. The Griffins, anything they can do to just keep the ball outside of that 18-yard box right now, they will do whatever they have to for that. As this gets played down, misses everybody, and a big goal kick for the Griffins, allowing more time to come off this clock. Doros down on the pitch right now, making a few adjustments with the shin guards.
Yeah, you've said his name a lot today, and just an exceptional performance. His ability to sit in that holding midfield role, marshal everything, in front of that back line for the University of Guelph. You just saw him out wide dealing with danger in the outside channel. I think we're seeing why, he got that nomination, in the All-Star Award.
Well, and you see, too, the experience, I think, coming through when you look at a guy like Vidovic and Doros, those two together, combining back there, just taking away so much space, then the Lions try to get something going. It seems like either number 6 or number 7 has been there to answer every time.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a correlation there for sure.
Now a header in tight. Doesn't trouble Svetic too much as he calmly comes out, knocks it down, and then catches it before giving his whole team the let's slow it down, let's calm down, be composed sort of hand signal. Looking for a little bit of space to kick this ball away, and now he launches it with the left boot. Bounces up to midfield. Principato battling. Griffins get control, and now sent down to the corner, and the Griffins are going to be on this first. Into the corner goes Truong. He's got the 3rd goal. Currently that insurance marker for the Griffins. As we hit now, entering the 89th minute, Guelph still by 2, but here come the Lions working down the side, moving it along. Played back towards the middle. The Lions trying to get anything going here. Desperate now at this point. Time running out and stuck by 2. A race for this ball. That's McKee knocking down Vilfort, who's a little slow back to his feet, hobbling around a little bit. McKee, one of those guys playing on a yellow, getting in on some contact there, but no worse for wear as Vilfort really struggling now, trying to work it out here for this, wants to stay out there for his guys in such a meaningful match, but he's going to have to work his way to the sidelines. Clearly frustrated, combination of that, disappointed, being hurt. You hate to see something like that in a contest here of such meaning after such hard work all year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jaden Vilfort is the psychology major out of Ottawa, has just played very well and, been really strong for the York Lions today. And, he had a couple of earlier moments where you could see, he had a knock, and you can see the courage that he plays with because he got right back up right away. And I think he's probably playing through, a lot of pain today. So we hope that he's able to get back on that pitch.
Trying to stretch him out there on the far sideline in front of the scorekeeper's table. As York moving everybody up that they can, all the way up to midfield is Zemos to play them forward. Quickly towards the box, headed away. Race for it ensues. Sears nearly there. It's going to settle for Principato, who gets York back around midfield, trying to drive it in again. Again, no dice. Gray Yates after it, and a foul whistled against York. And Guelph will be able to set up once again now as the full 90 minutes is in the books. We'll see. 4 minutes has been announced. 4 minutes is what separates the Guelph Griffins from being 2021 OUA champions and off to Carleton for nationals. That's all that's left of this match. They lead by 2. Can they bring it home? We're going to find out awfully quickly.
Well, you can see that group of 1990s guys up there in the Griffin nest there in the patio. They're just on their feet, hanging over the rail, just getting excited to cheer on the final bit. The fans in the stands, people are ready. People are ready to celebrate, but this game isn't over until the referee has that final whistle.
Zemos again. Expect to see the keeper up as much as possible as he's launching this forward, trying to keep every member of this Lions crew up as high as they can go as they work in towards the Griffin zone. This played in right to Svitek, who catches it calmly, falls on top of it, waits for everyone to clear, and again, like he's been all season, just an anchor of calmness back in that Griffin net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Launched ahead. Guelph just trying to kill seconds any way they can. We are in stoppage time. 4 minutes is what was announced. This worked back down to the Griffin end, and there he is again. It's Svitek catching it, but a foul before that on that 30-yard marker, a foul committed by the Griffins, and a chance for York to try and set up here and get one late over the ball. It looks like they're going to have Yuma, and you got to wonder if he's just going to take his chances putting this right on goal from this distance.
Yeah, I mean, you would not put it past him. But it's going to have to be some wonder strike from about 28 yards out, to beat Artemenko. I think we'll see. Maybe it's a bit of maybe they're trying to set up something where they can get that ball into the back post and have someone there to tip it past.
They have about 5 bodies ready to charge towards that back post. The Griffins with 3 on their wall. Yuma towards the goal. It's in. He's got his second. Here late, don't go anywhere as Yuma fires it. It looked like Artemko maybe slipped when he tried to go back to his right.
Yeah, it looked like the ball was central right in the middle of the goal. And we said it was going to be a strike, a wonder strike that's going to have to make it happen. And look at what happened. Yuma, wonder strike. What are we, 2 minutes into extra time here? It's a 3-2 game. Clark, this is, I don't know what to say now. This final is, it's turned on its head all of a sudden.
Not much time left to go, about 2 minutes as Guelph launches this ahead. We'll keep track of it, but it can't be much more than that as the Lions off the free kick. Yuma from 28 yards out fires home his second, trying to will this Lions team back into this match. He's done exactly that. Now it's just a matter of can they find that third one. The Griffins get a throw here. That'll allow a few more seconds to tick off as it's fired as far down as Guelph can get it towards the York box. The Lions on top of the ball trying to send it forward. Guelph perhaps a few more nerves setting in now. It's a lot easier to nurse a 3-0 lead than it is 3-2. And here he comes again, Yuma, trying to find the ball. Artemko's out there on the ball, whistled down as Artemko now goes down as a lot of bodies in there and some contact, I'm sure, but putting himself on the line as he gets roughed up pretty good by a charging Yuma, but oh so close to the York goal scorer having a chance at the hat trick and what would be an unbelievable way of equalizing this contest.
Well, this 4 minutes extra period of time is just producing incredible moments here. On his initial touch, I thought he was going to take a shot right there, given how how great his goal scoring prowess was, and the extra touch actually put him into a position where I'm not sure. I'd have to see that again. Wow.
Artemko is on his way out, but here's the final whistle blows, and despite the effort late from Yuma, it's not quite enough, and the Guelph Griffins are OUA champions for a third time in front of many of the first-time Griffin OUA champs. Guelph has won the conference and are heading to Carleton.
What an incredible football match today. Incredible, Clark. The crowd's going crazy here now. So many people here today at Alumni Stadium. And what a thrilling finale to this final.
We talked about at halftime Keith Mason having his plans for different scenarios, and we said how thrilled he'd be about using the 2-0 scenario early in the second half. Did he have a card, you think, for giving up 2 goals late off a 3-goal lead to go to?
Oh no! I think his heart would have skipped a beat a few times there in the dying minutes, especially with what transpired. Just an incredible finish to an exceptional match today. Look, 2 top programs, a full house here at Alumni Stadium. You couldn't ask for anything more if you're a footy fan. Just an excellent display of our sport, and both teams gave everything today.
Obviously, the Griffins victorious kind of speaks for itself, but we know how good this Lions program is, and if you saw anything here this afternoon, I think you saw the heart of a champion with how many times they've been up to that hit or the top of the OUA hill. They weren't going down despite being down 3 with about 11 minutes left.
Oh no, they're a heavyweight, and you're not just going to you're not going to knock them out with just little jabs. You're going to have to take it to the full the full and final whistle, and that's what the Griffins did. Despite how close it became at the end, Keith Mason and his staff set up his team to succeed, and this is a massive accomplishment. And with a berth in the Nationals on the line, what an incredibly emotional and fantastically fulfilling day it is for everybody here at the University of Guelph.
As you see them all get their hats, there is no replacing, no duplicating that feeling that these men are going through right now, reaching the top of this OUA mountain and doing it by taking out not only the York Lions in the final, but again, took down Carleton in the semis. They went undefeated through the regular season, still undefeated to this point. Everything they've done this year, you can hardly put it into words.
Well, they have been a collective team. It's been a collective effort. Everybody's contributed throughout the year. They're just a really good group of young fellas that have just made everyone here at the University of Guelph very proud today by what they've done.
And now as it wraps up, you allude to that team part of it. It's ultimately Damian Truong who's going to come away with the game-winning goal. Off the bench late, puts one home. And wouldn't you know it, I'm not sure if anyone had that penciled in their bingo card at the start of it, but out of Winnipeg, Truong is ultimately the hero here this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it illustrates that the Guelph Griffins team this year has relied on a number of different goal scorers, and I think it just highlights the idea of the collective effort, and that collective effort, taking that to Nationals next week, they're going to be a tough side to play.
Now you've got, with this all wrapping up, Alex Zeese, 2-time OUA champion, as his career extends to live a little longer. Lefebvre, 2-time OUA champion, as his career extends a little longer as well. a tremendous afternoon here for these Guelph Griffins as they come away with a very inspirational, very hard to script 3-2 victory over a tremendous York Lions side. The up 3-0, suddenly 3-2 late, and seemed like nearly hanging on for dear life at the end, but keeping them in it all the way to the very end. Svitek Artemko, he's with Scotty Fraser at the pitch.
Svitek, no shortage of drama in this one, but you as a rookie goalkeeper in the OUA, coming to Guelph from Winnipeg, propel this team to a championship. The first time this team is hosted in 31 years. You guys had the crowd behind you all evening long. Talk about a little bit of thoughts, feelings, and emotions as the game wore on.
Well, obviously coming into the game, we were kind of nervous, obviously, because it's a finals and against a team like York. Obviously not a bad team, very, very strong team. So it was very, very intense. But then as the game wore on, our fans were there to support us. We have the best fans in the league, and I appreciate them all coming out. And once we scored that one goal, it gave us more confidence to go and attack, and then we scored the second and third, and then as we kept scoring and attacking, our confidence just kept going up.
That 3-0 lead kind of almost evaporated, as mentioned. Diu Merciuma came down and scored two late, 78th minute, and again in stoppage time, but you remained calm, cool, and collected as things got tighter and tighter, exactly how your coach described you in the halftime interview. What is it about your poise and confidence that you bring to the field that seems to be contagious to your teammates?
I mean, growing up, all my goalkeeper coaches told me that if you don't show your nerves to the opposing team, then it's starting to get like underneath their skin, and it annoys them. And it just gives my self-confidence, I guess, when you're getting pressured in the back, but you're all composed. So I think it's all thanks to the coaches that have been coaching me from before.
Well, we pretty much experienced all four seasons throughout 90 minutes today. Sunshine, a bit of snow, maybe a bit of rain as well. You guys are off to Ottawa for national championships next weekend. How excited are you for the very beginning of a very good career and potentially capping it off with a national championship?
It's an amazing feeling. This is my first year at university in Guelph, so this is the best way to finish off OUAs, I guess. With the cup, the medals, and hopefully we bring in another trophy next week.
Well, your teammates are celebrating, and it's pretty much your time to go. I'll let you go have fun. Great game. Congratulations. Thank you for the time. And with that trophy presentation, we'll send it over to the PA announcer, Sean Vifaro, to close out the show.
From York University, goalkeeper George Siemens. From York University, defender Jaden Philport. From York University, midfielder Soji Olatoye. From York University, midfielder Emmanuel Zabazis. And from York University, striker Mercy Yuma. A round of applause for your East Division All-Stars from York University. Next, the All-Stars from the West Division. From the University of Guelph, goalkeeper Svitek Artemko. From the University of Guelph, defender Ian Vinovich. From Guelph, defender Harvey Marchand. From Guelph, midfielder Lucas Doris. And from Guelph, midfielder Jack Sears. One more round of applause for all of your 2021 All-Stars. Your men's soccer major award winner. winners for the 2021 season. First from the East Division, the Coach of the Year is from York, Carmine Isako. And the Player of the Year from York University, Mercy Yuma. From the West Division, the Coach of the Year from Guelph, Keith Mason. Community Service Award winner from the University of Guelph, Harvey Marchand. And Player of the Year from the University of Guelph, Lucas Norris. Ladies and gentlemen, your men's soccer major award winners. We will now move on to the medals. The rain is starting. We'll get this moving as best we can. Please welcome Mark Alfano from the OUA to present the OUA men's silver medals to your OUA silver medalists. Let's hear it for the York Lions. Let's hear it one more time for your OUA silver medalist, the York Lions. And now please welcome Athletic Director Scott McRoberts to present the gold medals to your OUA champion, Guelph Griffin.
You can walk straight through hell with a smile. Oh, man. The medals that have been handed out this time, we would ask the captains from the Guelph Griffins. It's that time. Please come forward, accept the OUA Championship banner and trophy. to ask everybody to head towards the exits now. There is no access to pick up the field. If you are waiting for players on the other coaches, you will need to meet up with them outside. Thanks so much. Keep your eyes on those Griffins next week at the Youth Sports National Championship.